Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Everquest Old School. And on tonight's episode, we're actually going to be playing my Paladin. He's level 9. As I was playing this guy, I realized what I was doing with him was kind of what I didn't want to do, which was repeat myself. He was going to the same zones that my cleric had went to, and I rationalized it as he would be showing you those same zones, but as a puller's point of view. And it is a good enough point of view that it should be shown, but with this guy, I kind of want to show you some of the places you can go to by yourself, because the cleric is very dependent on groups. But with this guy, I'm hoping he might be able to solo a little bit more in the style that some of you guys want to see. Necros are easy to solo, and there's tons of videos on stuff like that, but not very many people do videos on characters that can solo but aren't that easy. So what we are actually going to do is walk around ButcherBlock Mountains, and you can see there's 6 people on tonight. It's not a whole lot of people. Now, I am level 9, so there's going to be quite a few things here that are probably going to be green and may not even give me any experience. Let me see. Emerald Drake is actually yellow, but he's indifferent, so that would be an interesting fight. Oh, great, I got a goblin. What level is he? He's green. This should not be difficult at all. Now, I do have a few spells up. I have my heal spell, of course. I have Flash of Light, which is a really, really good spell to get aggro on a creature. So I have that up just in case I was going to get into a group. And then I have my buff, just because I got the space for it. And then I got a Yoke, which is basically a buff that you can get. Rusty Two-Handed. No, I mean, I need the money, but it weighs quite a bit. And since we're going to be exploring, I don't really want to weigh myself down since I'm only about 3 pounds from being overweight. So let me look over here. That guy's blue to us, and he's indifferent. So let's go ahead and try to kill him. In fact, hold on a second. Let me see what skeleton this is. The king. Well, I don't think that will be an issue. So let's attack this guy. Ouch. Okay. Well, he wanted to hit me pretty hard, but he actually didn't do that much damage to me. It sounded worse than it actually was. What did he hit me with? Some kind of spell, and it says I'm stunned as well, so you do have to worry about these guys stunning you. In fact, it looks like my guy's permanently... Oh, there we go. 13 damage. That was a fair, decent hit on that guy. And I am using a slightly better weapon than you guys would probably have at this level. This was given to me as a gift. Oh, great. I forgot I could take weapons off during combat. Glad I can put it back on, though. But there it is. It's the Great Sword. Does 17 damage. Attack delay is 30. And it has plus 10 strength to it. So it's a pretty nice sword. It doesn't have any kind of effect, any kind of proc that will go off. But even if you had one of those, most of those will only proc after, I think it's level 20 or 30. So even if you had it before that, you're not going to get that proc. So you might as well go with something that has higher stats if you're trying to twink your character at this level. So not too bad. I don't think we got that much experience for it, but it wasn't that hard of a fight. I'm still about 80%. I'm at full power, so I can just go ahead and heal myself up. And then I could move on to the next one. That's definitely something you could do here if you just want to solo a little bit. So let's go a little bit further into the zone. Oh my god, look at that. It's a giant bat. And he's blue. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and try to take that guy on. Let me use my Flash of Light to get his attention. Probably not the best spot to pull to because there are a lot of these roaming goblins. And I think he's afraid now. You can't see or something. I think that's what it does, is it blinds him. But you do get some massive aggro. And usually, if you're attacking the creature, he won't run off. So, yeah, that shouldn't be an issue when you're in a group. Lord Snake. I have to find another one of those and con it. Didn't want to risk actually selecting it and getting another creature in here because it obviously wasn't aggro. Man, that is a giant freaking bat. As a dwarf, it really, really puts things in perspective. I mean, look at that. That has taken up my entire screen. That's a bat the size of a 70-inch TV right now. That is huge. Compared to this little tiny dwarf who... Look at that, in irrelevant size to it. this thing could eat my dwarf and probably still have room for another. that's crazy size for a bat. Oh, and there's nothing on it. But that was pretty decent experience for a blue. I'm actually seeing a change on my bar, so yeah, that's not bad. It doesn't have that bonus multiplier for this zone that Crushbone or Unrest or Mishmore have, but it's still pretty good. Sometimes you don't have to have that bonus multiplier. I'll pick it up because it doesn't weigh very much. Cloth never weighs that much. So let's see. Large snake is what to me? Green. Okay, it's green. So we came from that direction. Actually, we haven't got very far away from the road. We've already found a number of blue things to kill at level 9. So this would not be that bad of a spot to come to. Probably around level 7, depending on what kind of class you are and your makeup as far as your armor goes. You know, if you're really decked out, you could probably come here a little sooner. If you're not so decked out, you may want to wait a little longer. But yeah, a lot of creatures over here are green to me at 9, so I'd say this would be a pretty good spot. 5, 6. You may have to watch out for a few of those higher level ones that are, you know, still blue to me right now. But what's over here? A dwarf skeleton ready to attack. There's supposed to be chessboards or something like that in this zone. Now, the reason I'm not very familiar with this zone is, one, the first time around I had a Shadow Knight. So zones like this were not zones that I pretty much ever went through unless I was trying to sneak my way through it, because, you know, Shadow Knights are one of the 3 evil races, or 4 later down the road, but nobody liked them, and for like 99% of your time in this game, you would be avoiding the paths, because most paths at some point or another have some random guard just walking past it, or if you're not familiar with the zone, you don't want to risk finding out that there is a random guard walking the path. I think we could probably take this guy on. Let's try to kill him. And so most of the time you would be going along the outskirts and things of that sort for the zones like this. So I never really got to explore places that were good, especially ones that had this many guards in the zone, you know, and you knew it. You just kind of stayed away from it. You went down the route you knew was safe, and that was it. And so it's kind of nice to get on here with this guy and just kind of roam around and check it out. But yeah, I've heard that there was a chessboard here, and there's some good experience over here. So I do want to just kind of walk around and see the site, see what we can get into, what kind of trouble, and see what levels things are. Now, of course, I am level 9, so I won't be able to get a exact fix on what level all the creatures are, especially if they're going to be green to me. But we can kind of see, you know, what we can see. Maybe you guys can find some good spots to come over here a little earlier than I did, if you're one of those people who enjoy just kind of, you know, going off the beaten path. Because yeah, groups are amazing. They're really fun, and hanging out with people really is just a blast. But there are those days that you just want to hang out and kill a few creatures and then log off. You know, you're only going to be on for 20-30 minutes, and so a group really isn't, you know, a viable solution. But if you have a little place like this in mind, you can run over here and just hang out for a little while before you head to bed. So yeah, I mean, for me, that's what soloing always was. But for some of you guys out there, you do it full time. That's the way you play the game, is to solo. So I'm not putting that down at all. It's just I didn't really play that way the first time through, except for on my Shadow Knight, and then it was, you know, completely different zones. So let me zoom in a little bit. So let's see. I think this is going to be a dead end, to be honest. I'm not sure. In fact, let me go ahead and change that, because I don't really need that up unless I'm finding creatures, and I'm not really finding anything over here. So I figured you guys might like the scenery without all the little boxes over it. If you guys enjoy that, let me know. I'll go ahead and do that a little bit more often. Granted, you know, I do have to see the screen at some point so I know what level these creatures are and if anybody's talking to me. So hold on, there's something over here. Some goblins in there, so let's turn my screen back on. Let's see, can we select one? A goblin whelp. And those are green to me, so let's get a little closer. we can at least explore the camp, even if we're not going to get any experience out of it. And I can show you what that looks like. Huh. So there's, what, 3 in the camp? 3 outside that we know of. Let me select all of them to make sure they're all green. Okay, I should be able to take this on if they attack, which they're not. So since they're not attacking, they must be really, really low. I'm talking probably level 1 or 2, maybe 3. If they're any higher than that, the chances are they'd still be attacking. So there's 3 guys over here, none inside the tent. And then there's another one over here, a shaman, which is yellow. Actually, wow. Huh. What about these guys over here? Those are yellow as well. And he's yellow as well. Wow, that's... I wonder why these guys are so much higher than their little dudes over here. I know they're whelps and everything, so maybe they're their children. Huh, that's pretty interesting. And these guys are green as well. Because you could actually come over here at a lower level and kill the little kids, I guess is what they are, the children, which sounds really, really horrible. And then at a higher levels, technically come back. Although I'm sure there's going to be a point in between where these guys no longer give experience and these guys are too high, so you may have to come over here at different periods in your journey. But I don't think I want to take one of those on. They're yellow and they're healers, and then one of them's a wizard, so I think they would probably do quite a bit of damage to me, and I'm not sure if we could take on a yellow. I know we got pretty good armor, and we may be able to do it, but I don't really feel like running all the way back here if I die, which should be always taken into account when deciding whether you want to kill something or not, because the journey to get back to your corpse can be a very, very long one, and you may not have it in you that day or that night and be like, yeah, I really want to spend 2 hours running back to my corpse, because that's not what you were planning on getting off in like 15 minutes or something like that, you know. And if you do it, you never really want to leave the game with your corpse just sitting there. I know, we've talked about it where, yeah, you got plenty of time to come back to it, but do you really want to risk that? I mean, maybe you forget in a couple of days where your body is, and then what, I mean, you still have to know what zone it is for a necro to find it. You can't just be randomly asking people to just check the zone if they know where your corpse is. So, I kind of want to take that on. So let me do an LOC here just in case. LOC is just a / LOC, and it's short for location. And it gives you basically GPS coordinates, which are pretty good. I mean, for the most part, you can find almost any spawn with those, or your corpse if you happen to die. So let me move this guy back, because I wasn't sure if this was some sort of building, if there was creatures inside that would maybe aggro when this one was pulled. Sometimes they will do that, even though there's a wall there and they're completely surrounded. They can't possibly see what's going on outside. Only way they could is if they heard it, but they don't have that kind of ability to be able to hear the creature getting attacked and come running, so that's not a consideration. It's just the fact that the programming is such that the aggro actually goes through the wall, which is weird because it only does it in some locations. Other locations, you can pull those creatures and the aggro doesn't go through the wall, and you're looking at it and you're like, well, maybe it should because it's a tent, whereas this one's like stone. And yeah, for the most part, it won't go through, but there are always those exceptions. So if you're new to the area, and as I said, if you make a mistake, you got to come all the way back to your corpse, and that may be very, very far away. And there is space in there. What about this guy? What is he? He's green. So a blue and a green. Oh, that's kind of interesting. That's actually pretty cool looking. Somebody had to sit here and put all that texture on there. I know it's just a repeat of itself, but it's still kind of cool. Sometimes having this really, really nice graphics on a video game kind of actually seems to take away from the video game, because it's too much sometimes, and having like cheaper little graphics that kind of just blend into the background rather than draw your eye away from the game itself to show off just how beautiful it is, actually seems to immerse you into the game a little bit more, from what I found. So let me these little back alleyways. As you can see, there's absolutely no trails anywhere nearby, and there's quite a few trails in this zone. So the fact that we're not walking on one seems to indicate we are really, really far away from any help if we run into something. Although this is a pretty low-level zone for the most part. As I've shown you guys, I am level 9, and there's only been a couple creatures that have been higher level than me, or even close to being even to me. So yeah, it's not really gonna pose you. What is that? What is wrong with this tree? Look at that. I almost don't want to walk through it, because sometimes if you do, you can fall beneath the earth, and then you gotta contact a petition and say, hey, my body's falling through. And then you gotta sit there and wait for the next day when you log on. Yeah, I don't really want to get into that, so I'm not gonna press my luck and see if I can get through it. But yeah, little glitches here and there occasionally. That's actually the first one I've seen since I've been back. So it doesn't happen too often, but you'll find those in pretty much any game. Occasional things will happen with that many people on and doing all the things they do. You're bound to find stuff, even on the best maintained servers that you can possibly, find out there. It's just, so I don't really hold it against them too much, but it is kind of funny when you run across one. And I'm guessing it's just supposed to be lower, because it doesn't really seem like part of the tree is missing. It just seems like it should be sitting a little bit lower than where it's at, so the elevation on it's wrong. But it is kind of sitting up on a mountain, so maybe that's what threw it off. That it is flat, but only not even really up here. It still has a huge gap around it. Yeah, it's just off all the way. That's kind of cool though. You can see that when they rendered it, it's literally just a skin. It's not even any structure to it underneath, and so it'd make it impossible for you to be able to like blow this tree apart or chop it down, because there's quite literally nothing to interact with other than the skin. So they kind of wrote themselves into a corner there, I think, with expanding the game. But I mean, I can understand it. They probably were not even coming close to imagining the day where stuff that we have now was even possible. The fact that we can literally make environments that look, 100 times better than this, and then make those environments completely and totally interactable, so that I can chop down trees, I can shape the zone from any given moment on the server that interact with everybody else instantly. It's amazing how far we've gotten. What is this guy? Red, and he's indifferent. I don't know if he's indifferent, so he won't attack, but I don't know if he's one of my guys or what. What is this? Scowls at you, ready to attack. Yeah, it looks like another player, actually. I bet it is. Yeah, it's another player that's in the zone. Is this the druid teleport, maybe? Or the wizard? No, it's not the wizard, is it? I don't know, both of those guys are anonymous, so who knows? Let's see, so that's green. That's blue. What about this guy way in the distance? And he's green as well. So the guys down here around these ruins are perfectly fine at level 9. So I guess if you were... Oh, that guy's blue. Let's take on one of those guys. It's been a while since we fought a skeleton or anything. These things would be completely fine to you probably around level 15. You would never even have to worry about getting attacked. But if this is a teleport in a location, which if it is, I've never used this one, so... but if it is one, then yeah, if you're really low level and you're getting a teleport over here because, your friend's going to group with you and you're coming from another zone or something like that, watch out for these. This would be very deadly to you at, say, level 1 or level 2 or something like that, because these guys are blue to me at level 9, so, or at least some of them are, and the other ones are green. So I'm guessing, because it can have anywhere between usually a 5 level range on these mobs in any given zone. Usually won't be too much more than that, and so I guess they could be pretty low level, but still I think it would be something to be worried about, or at least concerned with. Is this going to be another dead end? I think it is. No, what is that? What is that? It's like some kind of... I don't know, like monument or something from like Easter Island or something. This is very, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Oh, there's somebody behind it. I'm glad I went up on the mountain rather than just go around. And he's blue at level 9, so let's go ahead and kill him actually. Just because it has a cool backdrop. And maybe he will spawn somebody else, who knows. But that's pretty cool right there. In fact, if I bring him up a little bit, I can get it all in the picture. There we go. And I got them all. And if I take this off, hopefully we survive. Get closer. Oh no, I gotta get closer. So I'm glad I looked at that. I couldn't hear the crushing anymore, so. And you can kind of see my shadow on the wall when I move. I'm not going to be able to get it all in there in the frame, unfortunately. There we go. That's a little bit better. That's kind of cool. I don't know what that is though, because I've never read the lore on this zone, so I don't know if there's something to this. But where did my cursor go? There it goes. Every time I go into that mode, my cursor disappears when I come back, and I have to click somewhere on the screen, and there it just pops up. So I don't know if that is how it's supposed to be, or if I'm getting some kind of little weird bug when I do that. But if you do lose your cursor when you do it, that's apparently the reason. So this is the way we came from. So let's head straight across this little gorge. And I hope we find a road here pretty soon, because, as I said, I have no clue where we're at. Though I'm pretty sure it's a good area to be in, because you do have those people teleporting in, and if there's people teleporting in, then it's usually somewhere close by to a well-traveled area, whether it's a road or not. You usually will find people running up and down it, and then you could follow them. So people do kind of make their own roads. It doesn't show up on the ground itself. If people travel in that area, and that would be really, really cool if it did. People could really make their own and shape the world the way they want to. But no, it doesn't do that. But you can usually just find somebody and ask them if they're running by. You know, people will run by and toss sow on you and stuff. So they will stop and help you out if you know. Especially if they're running by and you don't have time to send them a message before they're out of the way. If you hail them a few times, usually that will get somebody's attention, and then you can type something out real quick, you know, and be like, hey, do you know how to get to wherever? Or, I'm completely lost. Do you know where we're at? An aqua goblin wizard. Ooh, he's red. Yeah, I don't want to take that guy on. But look at that. That's actually a pretty nice picture right there. That's not a bad screensaver to have on in the background at work. I wish I could have put something like that up. That's pretty nice with the water moving, and you got a little fire going. If you could throw some sound in there of waves crashing and maybe some flames or something like that, and maybe some crickets in the background. I don't know. That's just a pretty nice picture, I think. Kind of creepy with the goblin, but until I said that, I bet you guys were probably okay with them being there. So let's go ahead and go off of that. I may have to come back and just do a long video of that, because that's actually pretty nice. I do enjoy water, and if I could get the crashing waves in there, that'd be pretty soothing to have just in the background when I'm not doing anything with the computer. Let's see. Yeah, this guy's I'm sure he's gonna be fine. Yeah, he's warmly, so because they are dwarves just like I am. So I won't be positive if you guys can interact with these guys if you're not dwarves. I may not be able to interact with them. They may not have anything for sale. Hopefully somebody in here does. Nice, so there is a shop over here. So let's sell some of this cloth. And I don't even know what I have in my backpacks. Let's see. Oh, I still have some Crushbone stuff to turn in. It's been a while since I played this character. A lot of keys to go back to Crushbone and use. So I need some food. Let's see, does he have any food? There's some ring-mailed stuff over here. Not bad, actually, on the ring-mail. The ring-mailed is only 10 platinum at the moment. And let's see. It is 7 AC versus the one I have, which is Small Bandit. That's 15. So the Bandit one is made by another player, and the ring mail just drops off of creatures. So it's really not bad for about 10 platinum if you can sell some of those Crushbone belts and things of that sort. You could probably get a full suit for maybe a backpack and a half of belts, which yeah, which wouldn't be that bad. That'd be like 10 or 12 belts. So let's see, what else do they got? Nothing really great, and you can't rely on these always being here. Sometimes this will be the stuff the NPC is supposed to sell, and then sometimes it will be stuff that other players have sold to this NPC. And when the NPC gets reset, whether with a patch update or just a resetting of the server for whatever reason, all that stuff will disappear until more stuff is sold to him, and then all that stuff will show up. So yeah, just because you see it on the video doesn't necessarily mean he will have it for you when you show up. But hopefully it will be something very similar, especially if you come over here looking for a specific item and then find out he doesn't have it. I do apologize for that. So these guys, they're almost twins again, right? I mean, they really are. Yeah, exact same one. I mean, it really wouldn't have taken that much effort to change the color, but I guess they had so much other stuff to do that they actually really got right that can't really complain too much that they they put the same placeholder down and never went back and changed it, basically, is what that is, I think. Let's see. That's kind of a nice picture, too. In fact, it's almost like a painting right there. The fisherman in the foreground and some kind of evil looming in the background, plus a 2-star. Yeah, it's actually pretty nice looking. This is something you would see in the old typey games when they were first starting out, and then the story would be starting and it would be slowly moving, and it would bring you upon the image. You know, I mean, oh, and then there's rain right on cue for the story. That's funny. No, we're not going to sit here and watch all that for too long, but the rain definitely does make it a little bit harder on you to explore a zone because, yeah, it lowers your horizon to the point where in some zones where the fog really rolls in, oh my god, you can barely see like 10 feet in front of you, literally. And so if you're not very, very familiar with that zone, you can get lost real easy, or you can just run into things. And there are... Oh, that guy's even. And he looks at me threateningly. What about this guy? Oh, he's red. So there's an even and a red. So this would probably be a pretty good area to come to with a group if it spawned fast enough, because the level range is right around level 9 to probably around level 13, 14. Let's see if we can get away. What's over here? Red as well. Maybe a little bit higher than 9 I would come over here, because with that many reds, unless you got pretty good players with you, I don't think you're going to be able to survive that by yourself. Let's see. I don't want to get too far away from the coast. That guy's even. I need to heal myself up. I took a lot of damage right there. I actually have no clue which way to go, guys. Let's get a little bit of life just in case I run into some bad guys. Now, this video is going a little bit longer than I thought it would be, so I'm probably going to go ahead and split this up into 2 different pieces, guys. We're probably going to go ahead and end the episode here. If you do enjoy these episodes, please hit the like button, subscribe. Definitely helps grow the channel, and I do greatly appreciate that, because it allows me to review more games in the future, which I'm hoping to do more of here pretty soon. I'll continue to do these series for quite some time, so don't worry about that, guys, but I will be adding some more, so if you're interested in that, you're welcome to go check those out, and you're more than welcome to leave comments down below. I always love hearing back from you guys, so make sure to do that. And I'll go ahead and catch you guys on the next episode.